Regardless of where you are in your medical training, career-defining standardized exams like the MCAT and USMLE are critical to your success. To excel on these exams and get the career you deserve, you must 1. Learn everything the exam makers say is fair game. 2. Be able to apply this knowledge quickly and accurately. And 3. Remember everything, come test day. Gunner training makes sure you succeed on all fronts and is the only solution that helps you where you need it the most, remembering all your hard-won knowledge. Studies show that we are A, very poor judges of what we've really learned, especially at the level of important details, and B, that we are always forgetting what we've learned, and fast. This would be okay if all you wanted to do was pass your tests, but if you're hoping to become a resident in a competitive field like dermatology or plastic surgery, a few points here and there will be the difference between success and failure. Say, for example, you are studying Hardy-Weinberg genetics. You read and understand that allele and genotype frequencies in a population remain constant if 4 conditions are met. You move on to another topic and mentally file this information into the "don't worry, I got this down" pile. On exam day, multiple choice question asks you to choose the 1 condition out of the 5 possible answer choices that is not one of the 4 conditions. You know 3 conditions for sure, but have forgotten that large population random mating to prevent genetic drift is one of the 4 conditions. You choose this one thinking it isn't a condition and you get the question wrong. Same thing happens on a handful of other questions and you don't score high enough to get into the residency program or medical school that you desire or deserve. This happens every day to thousands of promising and hardworking students, but not to Gunner training members. At Gunner training, the first step is to study or review material the exam makers think is fair game. People often do this alongside other study efforts such as going to class, reading a review book like First Aid, or doing practice questions in a particular subject area. For example, say you just learned about Hardy-Weinberg genetics in class. After signing in to Gunner training, you either search or browse for Hardy-Weinberg genetics. In this case, make it easier, I'll search for Hardy genetics. Study the material, noting that you covered most, if not all, of this stuff in class. Then you add the related review questions, essentially telling our system that you have studied and want to remember the related concepts. Now, ordinarily, you'd probably want to study a few more topics, adding relevant review questions along the way. But let's just assume all you want to review this time are Hardy-Weinberg genetics. After adding the 4 related review questions, the next step is to take a quick quiz on what you just studied. The quiz questions will usually be direct recall questions wherein you are asked to rate how well you remember the related fact or concept on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being the best, i.e. remembering was easy. You do this for each of your review questions. After your quiz, you will see a summary of your performance with a recommendation to restudy areas of weakness. As you repeat this process with additional material, your resulting personal study plan will recommend that you review topics you are having trouble with more frequently and those you have mastered less frequently. Thus, in addition to helping you identify how well you really know something, down to specific details and atomic facts, Gunner training also helps you create a personal knowledge management system that you can rely on to ensure you don't forget any critical information come exam day. After repeating this process with additional material, your personal study plan may look something like this. You will see that your study plan recommends that you review one concept today to make sure you don't forget it. Your personal study plan is based on our systems analysis, not only of your personal performance in learning and forgetting curves, but also on millions of data points from your peers. When you follow your personal study plan, you will notice that the process looks and feels a lot like the quiz we just went through. It is. Just as you need to know how well you know something after you first study or review it, you also need to know how well you remember it over time. If you remember something well and report a higher level of recall than expected, we will shift your next review date out. If you forget it and report a lower level of recall than expected, we will shift your review date closer. This is space training and adaptive technology in action. This concludes our brief introductory video tour. If you have any additional questions, please check out our help section or drop us a line at contact@gunnertraining.com. We'd also love to hear from you if you have any suggestions for how we can make gunner training even better. Thanks for your time, and it's a pleasure serving you.